Good afternoon, guys. Back at it again, back in the garage. Of course, since I have a new car, I'm always messing with it. A new toy just showed up once again. I shouldn't say toy, new part. I got my 98 steering wheel in. This is actually from a Mark IV Supra. I don't believe the MR2 ever got this style 3-spoke wheel. They did get a 3-spoke wheel eventually down the road here in the US. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. They actually only ever had the 4-spoke Camry looking wheel, was like the last version of it. This just looks better in my opinion. Now the whole reason for getting this wheel is the stock non-turbo, I should say non-turbo, the stock MR2 wheel is just ugly, and it's very worn out. So if I go over here, guys, and show you, oh, another thing is too, I'm already ripping apart most of the car to get to it. You're probably asking, what do you have to rip apart? Well, you're pulling off the airbag. I don't want to take any chances, don't want it to go off of me, God forbid. So I went ahead and dislocated the battery, which was underneath the spare tire, which is in the front of the car, which still not used to this whole trunk in the front, and then there's another trunk in the back. Still very, very weird for me. This is gonna take some getting used to. So I went ahead and disconnected that. And then I also started taking out the steering wheel, or the airbag here. Now there's 4 little star keys, 2 on each side, that need to come out. Very, 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 very simple to remove. Now there's 2 clips on the back I need to remove, and I need to remove the cruise control stock. Now that is a cruise control style steering wheel, but the cruise control from the MR2, the stock from it, will not work on the 98 Supra wheel. It did not come with one, but I'm told that I can use a 1998 to 2000 RAV4 cruise control stock. Now I don't know for sure if that's going to work yet or not, but I'm hoping it does. I got all this from Chris Floor over at Supermarket. He specializes in importing JDM parts. He gets shipments in every other week. If you guys need anything, I'm gonna link it right here, and I'm also gonna put his Facebook page down below. I really do appreciate Chris helping me out, because finding one of these steering wheels in mint condition like this, like there's literally no rips, no tears. The airbag doesn't have, as I call it, the grease to it, like from people's hands and everything. Like it literally looks brand new. I don't know how he gets them out of junkyards like this and what he does or who he talks to, but this thing comes out looking like it's better than it ever has been. So let's go ahead and start taking apart the rest, and I'll show you what else needs to be done. Now that I've got the airbag off, I went ahead and disconnected the cruise control stock right here, and I went ahead and disconnected the airbag. Now I believe this is an 18mm nut. Sometimes, like my Supra, when I remove the airbag, this thing is on there very tight. It's going to take some force, and then you're also going to have to be pretty harsh on the steering wheel to bang this off, especially if it's never been removed. You know, it's just kind of seized on there from being on there for so long, and just from the factory they crank it down a good bit. So when you're taking this off, you don't want to be gentle. Start banging at the top and bottom till it wiggles itself off, and then that's it. The steering wheel is off and you are done, and you can go ahead and start placing on your new steering wheel. Now, another thing you guys are going to have to do is there is this clip that goes into what looks like it's the cruise control stock, but the actual cruise control stock is these 3 wires. This black wire here is for your horn, which then bolts into this. You should be able to pull it off from there, and you have to depin it from this blue connector. I shouldn't say depin it, because you're going to have to reuse this blue connector. You need to depin these 3 wires and keep the black wire in there, and if you're lucky, you can actually depin it, or literally just pull it right off of this area here. I'm going to undo these 2 star bolts, and just pull this up and pull it off from underneath, and it should bolt right up to that or slide back on. But I'm going to go ahead and depin these. I'm pretty fortunate that Jose from Kazan Motorsports sent me these nice snap-on, I guess you would call them depinners. I used to use a windshield wiper before I was using these, so these make it much, much, much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and depin these and then put the steering wheel on, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so it's a little hot out here in the garage, so I skipped a few steps. I apologize. Again, guys, I went ahead and depin these here off the cruise control stock that you guys can see here. So these 3 wires, and there's 1 black wire that went right underneath of it that went to this guy here where I cut the wire off of. You couldn't just depin it, I had to remove the wire. This sat on top just like that. That wire then ran into a blue clip, which is now inside the steering wheel, which I have on the car. That clip then goes right back in, and then that is your ground to give you a horn, because you need a horn. So just look at that, guys. That looks 10 times better. This thing looks brand new on this car with the brand new leather that they just put in. You couldn't seriously ask for anything better. I mean, just look at it, guys. I think that looks 10 times better. It gives you a 3-spoke look, bolstered, I guess, the handle area, I guess. I'm not sure what the technical name for that is. It's already perforated, which matches the seats that are perforated. I already have one of these in my Supra that I bought from Chris also. Again, I can't stress enough. Chris Floor, thank you, buddy. He gave me a great deal on this. Supermarket, fantastic guy to deal with. Like, again, I'll link everything he did for me down below. Helped me out a ton. Now, I do have to put the spare tire back in. I went ahead and reconnected the battery. Obviously, that's how I have a horn. All that does is pop right in there and then clips down. This even has the original bag with jack and everything. This car literally has everything. But I did just notice it is missing the little clip here. I guess the little drain plug, if you guys can see there. That right there should not be open to the ground like that. I do not like that at all. If you're driving down the road, that means water's getting in here. If water's getting in here, just like I can see some surface rust, not a big deal, but me being anal retentive like I am, that's not acceptable to me. That's got to be plugged. I'm gonna have to find it and fix that, because that's not acceptable to me. I don't like that kind of stuff. So everything else is good to go, and I got some more stuff to talk to you guys about. All right, guys, I'm a bit of a bum right now. Sorry I don't look the best. Just got off work and I've been working on a car. Got the steering wheel in now. All happy about that. But one thing I just realized is I haven't taken you guys really for a drive in the car yet. Since I bought this, I haven't really been driving it like I thought it would, just because cleaning it, fixing some small things. Nothing's really wrong with the car, but obviously if you've been with my channel, you know how anal retentive I am, and I'm always trying to make things better when I can. One thing I'm also trying to remember is this. I know y'all always give me a hard time. I hate wearing seatbelts. I think I've explained before that it's just not for me. I've had friends that actually died from wearing a seatbelt. It killed them. And I don't want to ever have to go through that. Yes, I know I could die without it, but 6/10 half down the other. So, I mean, it is what it is. But that's off subject. Let's go enjoy this car and take it for a quick test spin. I want to let you hear the car. Let me know what y'all think of how it sounds. So let's see if it cranks over. There's no radio in the car either. It's so quiet compared to the Supra. So quiet. There's literally no radio in the car right now. I'm still waiting from my new one. The last radio I bought was junk. If you'll see in my, well, you saw in my last video that the radio was junk. So let's go take this for a drive real quick. Put my glasses on that's on my head. Ooh, that doesn't get old at all. When you hear that, I mean that, hold on. I'm hoping you guys can hear all that. It sounds fucking phenomenal. This car does need an alignment, and I believe the steering wheel is off by a good bit, unfortunately. But when I get an alignment, it'll fix all that. It's been like that for quite some time, unfortunately. I might have put the steering wheel on a little bit not as straight as I should have, I guess. But, oh well. So listen up. Yep, sounds good. I might actually have to take this back off. It's a little bit more crooked than I thought it was going to be. So when I get back to the house, I think I'm going to do that. But I want you guys to hear the car. Let me know what y'all think. Give you a little bit more of my impression of the car. I'm going to go ahead and roll up the other window. I'm not sure if that's going to help at all. Probably won't. But doesn't hurt to try. It's just so much fun driving this car. It rides so smooth. It doesn't have the issues the Supra has. Now let me reword that. Issues as in the fact that it rides smooth, it doesn't have the loud noises, it doesn't have the smells that the Supra has. I can take my wife for a drive in this, and that she's not going to complain that it's too fast. We're going this way, we're going that way. She doesn't like the fact of how fast that car is, and a lot of you guys are probably thinking, Ryan, the car isn't that fast, to make 650 wheel horsepower. But to her, it is the scariest thing on earth, and I don't think it is, but to her, she thinks it's scarier than anything else she's ever ridden in. So I always just kind of chuckle about that, and I think it's kind of funny. All right, let's do a first second here. Ready? That was more like first, second, third, but you guys got the point. The car's so much slower, but it just hooks and goes. All the weight shifts to the back, physics takes care of everything else, the engine sits back there, and it just goes. I highly recommend one of these for somebody. It's such a fun little go-kart, and these cars are cheap. Now, I think a couple people have asked me, Ryan, what'd you pay for the car? This car was $9,500. It just had $8,500 in work done. It has a Gen 3 3S GT motor that was done by TS
TCS Motorsports has brand new wheel bearings, brand new hubs, brand new Coney shocks on it, brand new springs on the car. There's a multitude of other things, brand new leather. That wasn't even part of the 8,500. That was 1,500 alone. So right there, you're looking at just the $8,500 worth of work plus 1,500, $10,000, and I paid $9,500 for it. You know, right there, I'm already ahead. And this car is just so nice. There's no cracks in the dash. None of the doors are dinged up. There's no scratches in the pleather/leather, whatever you want to call it. And everything's just perfect. The stereo, it had the stock stereo in it. Everything was stock for the most part, which is what I liked. To give you guys some backstory on the car, the reason the whole motor was swapped and everything was done by an older gentleman and his wife. Jim and his wife had swapped the motor thinking that they were going to give it to their daughter. Their daughter said they wanted the car. So they went, okay, went over to TCS Motorsports, said, look, we'd like to swap this, get it updated, you know, fix the oil leaks, get it ready to go so my daughter can take over. They get it all done, give it to their daughter, and she goes, it's too rough, it's too fast, it's not for me. They end up buying her a Fiat 500. She goes off to college, and then they still have the MR2. They've owned it for 18 years, and they're like, you know what? We don't want it anymore. We wanted to give it to her, so they put it up for sale. It's set up for sale at like almost $12,000 for like 6 months. I came in kind of as a low ball at $9,500, saying, you know what, if they say no, whatever. They came back and said, you know what, we want it gone, $9,500 it is. And here I am. Flew out to Cincinnati to pick it up and drove it 7 hours back without a hiccup, the AC rolling. I mean, everything works. That's what I like about this. Ty did a great job at making this car with a Gen 3 swap look factory. It honestly, besides some of the small things like a side mount intercooler, 3-inch intake, and a Burke 3-inch downpipe, the car is stock. There is really nothing spectacular done to this car. Nothing insane to the point that it feels rough or feels annoying. Now I am going to be doing exhaust. I'm going to be doing a couple small things. If you saw my last video there, I tried doing the block off plate, but I didn't see any significant gains, or I didn't see any gains, to be honest. The car still felt sluggish down low. It didn't give me that. I was hoping for a little bit more oomph to it. I think the sluggishness to it was actually the fact that I don't have coil packs. This car, the Gen 3s, run a distributor. So I think I'm just so used to running coil packs and not having anything else. And hold on, that's my phone. That I'm just so used to instant gratification, instant power, and this car just doesn't have that. It's okay. It doesn't happen. It happens a little bit below 2,500. Now I know the car has a little bit of turbo lag, but not much. But hey, you know what? I deal with it. Alright guys, that's a little bit of drive I wanted to give you for tonight. The car is fun. I'm enjoying the shit out of this thing. If there's anything else you guys want to see with the MR2 or the Supra, please shoot me a message. Let me know down in the comments here. I want to know your opinions. I always love your guys' feedback. I'm going to go enjoy this car for the rest of the night. Go get some grub because I'm hungry. And of course, go drink a cold one. Thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace!